Unit 3 is linear time invariant continuous time system, that is called as LTI system, linear time invariant system. Okay, if the system is both linear as well as time invariant, then we call that system as linear time invariant system. Suppose if the system is given, the LTI linear time invariant system is given, LTI system, whose impulse response, that system's impulse response is h of t, then we are applying input as x of t, then output of the system is y of t. Okay, x of t is the input signal, y of t is the output signal, h of t is the impulse response of the system, that is, it characterized the system nature. So x of t is the input signal, x of t is input signal, y of t is output signal, and then h of t characterizes the system, that is impulse response of the system. Okay, impulse response or system response. Okay, system response. Okay, again we'll see shortly why the impulse response is same as the system response. Okay, and this is not a system response, something equivalent to system nature, system transfer function. Okay, but that is the system transfer function. Okay, but system transfer function means we will be mentioning in S domain, h of s. Okay, so then this is indicating the characteristics of the system. Okay, h of t is denoting the characteristics of the system of system. Okay, so that means we are applying some input, then the output is decided by h of t. Okay, so that h of t decides the character of the system. Okay, it will decide what output you will get for the corresponding input. So that means y of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t. Okay, so output y of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t in time domain. So once if you apply the Laplace transform on both sides, this is y of s. Okay, then x of s. Okay, multiplied with h of s, multiplied with h of s. Okay, then suppose if x of t is equal to del t, that means what? For a particular system, it is having h of t, then input itself we are applying del t. Okay, impulse. Okay, see, x of t is the random input, it could be any input, but x of t is equal to del t in this case. Now what is the output that we'll get for a corresponding input of del t? So that means what? Del t multiplied with h of t, and we know that del t, sorry, this is not multiplication, convolution. Del t convolution with any signal is that signal itself. So we are getting h of t itself. Okay, we are getting h of t itself, and I think yes, we made a mistake here. See, if input is equal to del t, then what is the corresponding output? Okay, then output y of t is equal to x of t, that means del t convolution with ht, and then del t convolution with any signal, we will get that signal, that is h of t. Okay, so the answer is h of t. So when we apply del t as the input, the response, the output response is same as the impulse response. Okay, so when x of t is equal to del t, okay, then output y of t is equal to ht. That's why h of t is called as impulse response. Okay, impulse response means output. Okay, when you apply del t as a input, your output and h of t is exactly same. That's why the output response is called, output response in this case is impulse response. Okay, so that's why the h of t we are calling it as a impulse response. This is the reason Okay, so that's why we are calling h of t as a impulse response. That's why h of t called as impulse response. Impulse response. Okay. When you apply del t as a input, your output and h of t both are same. That's why h of t is called as a impulse response. Okay, so by definition, what is impulse response? Impulse response. The response of h of t, impulse h of t of an LTI system is defined as the response of the system is the response of the system to the unit impulse del t, that is yt is equal to del t convolution with ht is equal to ht only. Okay, then convolution integral. Okay, so in general, output response is equal to input signal convolved with h of t. Then formula is integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of tau h of t minus tau and d tau Okay, now if you see carefully here, there are two variables. Tau is also a variable, t is also a variable. But for a moment when we operate on integral, okay, we'll consider that tau as a variable. Then later we'll get the answer in terms of t. Then that time t is a variable. Finally, t is a variable. So in the intermediate step, we will be using tau as a variable. Okay, so then we'll assume that t as a constant, but t is also variable, but mainly tau is variable here with respect to this integration. Tau is variable. After that integration is over, t will act as a variable. Then how to calculate this integral? First of all, from the given x of t and h of t, we have to calculate x of tau and h of t minus tau. Okay, then it is the steps. Okay, steps to do the convolution integral. Okay, anyway, you will be given with x of t. Then you simply change the variable. You simply replace t with tau. Then we will get x tau. Then later we'll be given with h of t. Okay, again you simply change the variable. Okay, we'll be getting tau. Then you just apply the time reversal h of minus tau. Then add t. Okay, so that is t minus tau. Okay, wherever minus tau is there, you just add t so that we can identify h of t minus tau. Then once if you know x of tau and h of t minus tau, again we can easily calculate this integral. Then apply the integral x of tau h of t minus tau d tau. And then same convolution operation we can also write in different manner. That is y of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t integral minus infinity to plus infinite h of tau x of t minus tau d tau. Again, in both the cases, we'll get same answer because convolution operation is commutative. That is x of t convolution with h of t is same as h of t convolution with x of t. Okay, so in this process, in the convolution process, what are all the steps involved? Okay, see, for example, here, first we are applying time reversal. okay, time reversal or scaling with -1, time reversal, then shifting, multiplication, and integration. Okay, so what are all the steps involved? Time reversal, okay, then shifting, then multiplication, and integration, Okay, then what is the major advantage of the convolution? Okay, see, when y of t is equal to x of t, convolution with h of t, once if you apply the Laplace transform, this is y of s is equal to x of s, okay, multiplied with the h of s. Okay, so that means what? The system transfer function h of s is equal to y of s divided by x of s. That is, what is y of t? Y of t is Laplace transform of, what is y of s? Y of s is the Laplace transform of y of t. Okay, then what is x of s? Laplace transform of x of t. Okay, then once if you know h of s, okay, then also we can calculate what is h of t. Once if you apply the inverse Laplace transform, then we can calculate what is h of t. Okay, so this h of s, we call it as a system transfer function. Okay, system transfer function. Okay, in S domain, we call that as a system transfer function. Then what is h of s? H of s is the Laplace transform of h of s is the Laplace transform of h of t. Okay, so h of t is the impulse response. Okay, for the impulse response, if you take Laplace transform, then that will provide the system transfer function. So once if you know impulse response, then if you apply the Laplace transform, then we'll get h of s. That h of s is the system transfer function. Or what is the other way of getting system transfer function? Output signal Laplace transform divided by input signal Laplace transform. In that way also we can get the system transfer function. Okay, why this h of s? We call it as a system transfer function. See, even again the impulse response h of s will be equal to y of s when x of s is equal to 1. Because when you apply input as a impulse, then x of s is equal to 1. Again, h of s is equal to y of s. Okay, so that's why the impulse response is same as the output response. Okay, when you apply impulse as a input. Okay, then y of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t. See, in the exam, if they provide x of t and h of t, then with help of the convolution integral, we have to find out y of t. And also there is another way also is there, because we know that y of s is equal to x of s multiplied with the h of s. That means what? Take the Laplace transform for x of t and take the Laplace transform for h of t, then we'll get x of s and h of s, so that we'll get y of s. Then if you apply inverse Laplace transform, then we can get y of t. So this is the indirect way of getting y of t. Directly we can get from the convolution integral, or by applying this formula also we can get the y of t. So we'll always try to solve the problem with both the method. Okay. First question, find convolution of x1 of t is equal to e power minus at u of t, and x2 of t is equal to e power minus bt u of t. Okay. Solution. So there are two different methods are there to find out the convolution in the time domain. Just with the mathematics, we'll try to find out the convolution. Later, we'll apply the graphical method. Okay, with help of graph of the signal. Okay, we'll try to get the convolution. In any way, in both the cases, we'll get the same answer. Now we will just apply the mathematics. Just with help of this formula, we'll directly try to get, with help of this formula, we'll directly try to get y of t. Okay, so just we want to find out the convolution. Okay, so now y of t. So instead of h of t, they given us x2 of t. That's it. Okay, then the convolution operation is same. Okay, so y of t is equal to x1 of t convolution with x2 of t. Okay, x2 of t. That means what? Integral minus infinity to plus infinite x1 of tau. Okay, x1 of tau, x2 of t minus tau d tau, t minus tau d tau. Okay. So integral minus infinity to plus infinite. Again, we know that once if you know x of t, from this we can easily identify x1 of tau. Just replace the variable with the tau. X1 of tau is equal to e power minus a tau u of tau. Okay. Then what is x? What is this one? X2 of t minus tau. Then x2 of t minus tau is equal to e power minus b t minus tau u of t minus tau. So wherever t is there, replace with t minus tau. So we got x1 of tau and x2 of t minus tau. Then just directly substitute here. So integral e power minus a tau into u tau, e power minus a tau into u tau, e power minus b t minus tau u of t minus tau d tau. Okay, integral minus infinity to plus infinite e power minus a tau e power plus b tau, okay, e power plus b tau, then e power minus bt, e power minus bt, and then u of tau multiplied with u of t minus tau. Okay, now this u of t and u of t minus tau value is 1, but within certain range. Okay, so now we'll identify what is u of tau. U of tau means what? Tau varies from, tau goes from 0 to infinite. Okay, what is u of t minus tau? Okay, so now we are in tau domain. So tau is variable. So that's why we'll assume t as a constant. Okay, then if t is constant, okay, you simply imagine like a number 2, 3, something like that. Then again, tau, we are in tau domain. Tau is having negative. That means this goes from minus infinite to plus t. Okay, what is happening? Tau minus t is equal to tau. Then what is tau? Tau is equal to t. Okay, from minus infinity to infinite to t we will go, because tau is in the negative direction. Okay, so now this is the range of u of t minus tau. Then what is the common things between these two? Because both are in multiplication. So the common thing in between these two is 0 to t. Okay, 0 to t. Okay, then this e power minus bt I can take out, because the integration is with respect to tau. So with respect to tau, this is constant. So e power minus bt I can take outside. Okay, so e power minus bt, and also the integration is valid only from 0 to t, because if you are outside the limit of 0 to t, you will be getting 0 here. Okay, again the integration will become 0. So that integration limit goes from 0 to t. 0 to t, then what is there? E power minus a tau, e power plus b tau, e power minus a tau, e power plus b tau d tau. Okay, so e power minus bt integration 0 to t e power b minus a, e power b minus a tau d tau. And so if you apply the integration, e power minus bt e power minus ba tau divided by b minus a, this is from 0 to t. So e power minus bt e power b minus a into t divided by b minus a. So finally, thing is doing wrong. Okay. Yes. So if I forgot to apply the lower limit, okay, so now e power minus bt, e power b minus a t, okay, that b minus a I will take outside, then e power 0 is 1, then minus 1. Okay, now once if you multiply this inside, that e power b term cancels, okay, we'll be getting e power minus at, e power minus at minus e power minus bt divided by b minus a, divided by b minus a. Okay, so now finally what is y of t? Y of t is equal to e power minus at minus e power minus bt divided by b minus a, and that too this is valid from 0 to t. Okay, this is valid from 0 to t. Once if you go outside the t, then the value is 0. Okay, if you go outside this limit, the y of t value is 0. So same question we'll try with Laplace transform with help of Laplace. Okay, what is given? x1 of t, x1 of t is equal to e power minus at u of t, x2 of t is equal to e power minus bt u of t. What is the Laplace transform? x1 of s is equal to 1 by s plus a, again sigma greater than 0. Here x2 of s is equal to 1 by s plus b, again sigma here sigma greater than minus a, here sigma greater than minus b. Okay, no problem. Okay, now this is x1 of s and x2 of s. Then what is y of s? Y of s is equal to x1 of s multiplied with x2 of s. That means 1 by s plus a multiplied with s plus b. Then how to get the inverse Laplace transform for this one? So from y of s we have to get y of t, so that we'll apply the partial fraction technique here. So when you apply s is equal to minus a, okay, then you will be getting 1 by b minus a divided by s plus a. When you apply s is equal to minus b, okay, s is equal to minus b, okay, you will be getting plus plus a minus b. Okay, s is equal to minus b means a minus b, or otherwise minus of 1 by b minus a. Okay, so again you'll be getting 1 by b minus a here divided by s plus b. Okay, then 1 by b minus a we can take out. Okay, 1 by b minus a is common. Then what is the inverse Laplace transform of 1 by s plus a? That is e power minus at u of t. And then what is the inverse Laplace transform of this one? E power minus bt and u of t. Again we know that what is the value of u of t? U of t is valid from 0 to t. Whenever you are going from 0, generally it is valid from 0 to infinite, but here also this is t could be anything. Okay, so from 0 to infinite. Okay, so finally we got the same answer. A of t is equal to 1 by b minus a e power minus at minus e power minus bt into u of t. Okay. Next question. Find convolution of x of t is equal to e power minus 3t u of t and h of t is equal to u of t plus 3. Solution. Again, y of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of tau h of t minus tau d tau. Then integral minus infinity to plus infinite, okay, e power minus 3 tau u of tau, then u of wherever t is there replace with the t minus tau plus 3 d tau. Okay, then what is the limit? U of t goes from 0 to infinite. U of t plus 3 minus tau goes from minus infinite to t plus 3. Then that means what is the common limit? 0 to t plus 3. Okay, 0 to t plus 3 is the valid limit. Okay, so once if you go outside 0 to 2 plus 3, you will be getting 0 only here. Okay, so integral 0 to t plus 3 e power minus 3 tau, e power minus 3 tau d tau. Okay, then e power minus 3 tau minus 1 by 3 t plus 3 divided by 0. The lower limit is 0. So 1 by 3 e power minus 3 t plus 3, again e power minus 0 is 1, e power 0 is 1. So again this minus we can absorb inside. So 1 by 3, 1 minus e power minus 3 into t plus 3. Again this is valid. Okay, this is valid from 0 to t plus 3. Okay, 0 to t plus 3, and in general that is 0 to t plus 3, or it's like u of t. Okay, it's like u of t. Okay. Okay, so same questions we'll try to solve with the help of Laplace transform. With Laplace transform, x of t is equal to e power minus 3t u of t. H of t is equal to u of t plus 3. It is a Laplace transform. X of s is equal to 1 by s plus 3. It is a Laplace transform. H of s is equal to e power 3s into 1 by s, e power 3s into 1 by s. Then what is y of s? Y of s is equal to x of s multiplied with h of s. So we'll be getting e power 3s 1 by s into s plus 3. Okay, so now we'll keep e power 3s separately. Okay, we'll apply the partial fraction for this one, then later we'll apply the properties. Okay, then we'll write this separately s into s plus 3. Okay, so now we'll denote this as y of s is equal to e power 3s y1 of s for simplicity. Okay, then what is y1 of s? Y1 of s, you apply the partial fraction here, s is equal to 0, that is 1 by 3. 1 by 3 divided by s, s is equal to minus 3, that is minus 1 by 3, is 1 by 3 divided by s plus 3. Then what we'll be getting here, once if you apply the inverse Laplace transform, 1 by 3, okay, 1 by 3 into 1 by 3 u of t minus 1 by 3 e power minus 3t u of t. Okay, then we can write like 1 by 3 minus e power minus 3t, that u of t we can take out. Okay, u of t we can take out. And also here one more 1 by 3 is there. Okay, so 1 by 3. Okay, now we'll apply the formula here. From this, what is y of t? Y of t is equal to y1 of t, then wherever t is there, replace with, wherever t is there, replace with t plus 3. Because here, due to t plus 3, we wrote e power 3s. So e power 3s is there now. So wherever t is there, replace with t plus 3. Okay. So what is y of t? Y of t is equal to 1 by 3 if you take out, then 1 minus e power minus 3 t plus 3, okay, then u of t. Okay, in both the cases, we are getting the same answer. Next question. Find convolution of given signal x of t that goes from 0 to 2, x of t, t amplitude is 1, then h of t 0 to 2, t, h of t. And we want to find out the convolution of both. That is y of t is equal to x of t convolution with h of t. Okay, then integral minus infinity to plus infinite x of tau, h of t minus tau d tau. Okay, so now this is it will be a little bit difficult because this is the finite duration signal. So far, we have been discussing about the infinite duration signal. That means it goes from 0 to infinite. Again, the first case also, it goes from 0 to infinite, okay, infinite duration signal. But in this case, we are discussing about the finite duration signal. So once if you convolve the finite duration signal, again, it will be a little bit tricky and also a little bit difficult. So now we'll try to write the mathematical equation for these two graph. Then we'll apply this formula. In the next class, we'll try to do the convolution with the help of graphical method. But in the exam, mostly we have to write, we have to find the answer with the help of graphical method. Okay, so now we are not going to the graphical method, just with the mathematical equation, we are going to solve this question. So first we will write the mathematical equation for the given graph, that is what is x of t. X of t is equal to u of t minus u of t minus tau. Sorry, not t minus tau, that is t minus 2. Okay, t minus 2. Then what about h of t? H of t is also same, u of t minus u of t minus 2. Okay, so now we need x of tau. X of tau is equal to u of tau minus u of tau minus 2. What is h of t minus tau? H of t minus tau is equal to u of t minus tau minus u of t minus tau minus 2. Okay, then directly we'll apply this in this formula. That is y of t is equal to integral minus infinity to plus infinite u of tau minus u of tau minus 2 multiplied with u of t minus tau, okay, minus u of t minus 2 t minus 2 minus tau minus 2 minus tau, okay, d tau. Again, once if you multiply this, you'll be getting 4 component, okay, that will write separately integral minus infinity to plus infinite u of tau u of t minus 2 d tau. Okay, then plus integral minus infinity to plus infinite u of tau I think u minus will come. Okay, so so now we are minus, okay, this multiplied with this, okay, so minus u of tau u of t minus 2 tau d tau. Okay, then third component, this multiplied with this, okay, here also you'll get minus, okay, minus integral minus infinity to plus infinite u of tau minus 2 u of t minus tau. Okay, then plus finally minus infinity to plus infinite u of tau minus 2 u of t minus 2 minus tau. Okay, so now this is lengthy integral, so I will name this as a first integral, this as a second integral, and then third integral and fourth integral. I will calculate separately, then later I will merge all the result. Okay, that will provide y of t. Okay, so finally, what is y of t? Y of t is equal to the answer from the first integral, answer from the second integral, answer from the third integral, and fourth integral. Okay, so now we'll compute the integral separately. Okay, so first integral of y of t. Okay, I'm just I'm not finding complete y of t, first integral of y of t, first component. Okay, then y of t is equal to integral minus infinity plus infinite. That is the first integral u of tau multiplied with u of t minus tau. Okay, u of tau, u of t minus tau d tau. U of tau, yes, we have written it wrongly. U of tau multiplied with this one is u of tau, u of t minus tau. Okay, u of t minus tau. Okay, so here also u of t minus tau, finally d tau. Again, in the last class itself, we have seen once if this is the case, what would be the limit? The limit varies from 0 to t, again 1 d tau. So the answer is t. Again, the limit varies from, again, this is valid from 0 to t. Okay, so the now we have successfully identified the first component, that is value is t, and it is valid from 0 to t. Okay, then what about the second component? Second component, that is y of t is equal to, okay, the second integral is minus integral of this one. Okay, so minus integral minus infinity to plus infinite u of tau, u of t minus 2 minus tau d tau. Okay, if you see carefully, this is valid from 0 to infinite, this is valid from minus infinite to t minus tau. So that means integral is valid from 0 to t minus 2. Integral is valid from 0 to t minus 2. And then 1 d tau. Okay, then already minus is there. Tau, upper limit is t minus 2, lower limit is 0. So I am getting minus t minus 2. But it is valid at what time? Okay, it is valid when it is valid, that we have to identify very clearly. Under what time this is valid? See, the first answer is valid from 0 to t. Okay, 0 to t. Okay, see, if again, what is the assumption here? Here, this is a lower limit, then this one is the upper limit. Okay, then once if this integral has to be correct, definitely the upper limit is greater than the lower limit. Upper limit is greater than the lower limit. Okay, so what is the final answer? That is minus t minus 2. If this answer has to be valid, when it will be valid? Only when t minus 2 is greater than 0. Okay, this is valid only when t minus 2 is greater than 0. Then that means what? T is greater than 2. So that means this expression minus t minus 2 is valid when t is greater than 2. When t is greater than 2. This is the second component. Then what about the third component? Okay, third component of y of t is equal to this one. Okay, minus integral u of tau minus 2 u of t minus tau. Okay, minus integral minus infinite to plus infinite u of tau minus 2 u of t minus tau d tau. Okay, again, this limit goes from again, this goes from 2 to infinite. This goes from minus infinite to t. So this is valid from 2 to t. 1 d tau. So minus tau t 2 minus t minus 2. But when this answer is valid, okay, for this answer to be valid, what should be the value of t? Okay, again, third integral also we are getting minus t minus 2, same as the previous one. But under what condition this is valid? This is valid only when t is greater than 2. Okay, so t should be greater than 2. So again, both the second and third component is looking same. So just we'll add, okay, later we will add these two result. Okay, then what is the result of fourth one? Okay, fourth one, this one we have to compute now finally. Plus integral u of tau minus 2 u of t minus 2 minus tau d tau. Okay, fourth integral y of t is equal to integral minus infinite to plus infinite, u of tau minus 2, u of t minus 2 minus tau d tau. Again, this goes from 2 to infinite. This goes from minus infinite to t minus 2, so that the lower limit is 2, upper limit is t minus 2, and 1 d tau, okay, tau t minus 2, 2. Okay, so finally t minus 2 minus 2, that is t minus 4. Again, the t minus 4 is valid only when t minus is valid only when t minus 2 is greater than 2. That means t is greater than 4. So this answer is valid only when t is greater than 4. Okay, so then now we got all the component, just we will add all these things. Okay, so y of t is equal to t when, okay, again please remember all we have to add, okay, everything we have to add. So that's why I will put 1 plus here everywhere. Okay, all the answers we have to add, okay, within that limit. Okay, then we got minus t minus 2. Okay, and again okay, so this is 2. Okay, so I'll put that plus common here. Okay, so the second result is minus t minus 2 infinite. And then third one is same. And then fourth one is t minus 4. Okay, so now all these answers we have to add. Okay, we have to add within that limit. Okay, so then the second and the third we can merge. Okay, because both expression and limits are looking same, so that these two we can merge. Okay, then if you simplify that, y of t is equal to t 0 to t infinite minus 2 t minus 2, limit goes from 2 to infinite, then finally t minus 4 to infinite. Okay, so now if you add all these things, what will happen? Okay, so just we have to add everything. Okay, we'll see one by one. Okay, see, once the first one is t, just it goes like this. Okay, it goes like this. Okay, again from t is valid from 0 to infinite. Again, exactly at t is equal to 2. Okay, exactly at, say for example, this is 2, exactly at t is equal to 2, you are introducing this function at t is equal to 2. What is the value? Exactly at t is equal to 2. Again, what is the nature of this one? The nature of, again, the first one is having slope of 1. Okay, again, the second function is starting from here, but it will have the slope of, it will have the slope of minus 2. It will have the slope of minus 2. Again, the third function is starting at 4 with the positive slope. Okay, this is starting at 4 with the positive slope value of 1. If you add all this function, okay, if you add all this function, you'll be getting a triangle. You will be getting a triangle, because when you are from when you go from 0 to 2, okay, your function is linearly increasing. Okay, then with the slope of 1, suddenly you are getting with the slope of minus 2, then slope 1, slope minus 2 you are adding, then finally your slope will be minus 1. So again, from here you come with the slope minus 1 up to what point? Up to 4. Okay, because at exactly t is equal to 4, one more function is starting, so you come up to 4. Okay, you come up to 4 here. So this is, again, you will be going this direction, but what will happen, even though you are going in this direction, already one more function is there that will be going in this direction. Okay, because this slope now is minus 1, this slope is plus 1, again both will cancel. So finally you will be getting a triangle shape. Okay, finally your y of t is equal to, y of t is equal to triangle 0 to 4, and exactly at t is equal to 2, what is the value? Okay, exactly at t is equal to 2, what is the value? Definitely 2. Either that you can sum it here or here, no problem. Okay, you will be getting exactly at t is equal to 2, you will be getting 2 as the value. Okay, then this is our final y of t. So that means what? When we do the convolution of two finite duration signal, finite duration and also with equal duration, say this is x of t with the duration 0 to t, convolved with the same signal with the same duration, same shape. Again, this is also 0 to 2 with amplitude 1 and 1. We are finally getting a triangular signal, a triangular signal with the 0, 2 and 4 with the amplitude as 2. Okay, so this is h of t and y of t. Now, what is the observation? When we do the convolution for rectangular signal with equal duration, rectangular signal with equal duration, we'll be getting triangular signal, we'll be getting triangular signal. Then how to decide the total limit in the time domain? See, individually this is having limit from 0 to 2, this is also having 0 to 2, again this is going from 0 to 4. So how to decide the limit first of all? See, in this case x of t is having 0 to 2, y of t, sorry, h of t is having 0 to 2, then what is the limit of y of t? Okay, again, this limit goes from 0 to 4. Okay, from 0 it will start, again it will go up to 4. That we can easily identify. Okay, the lower limit is sum of the lower limit. The upper limit is the sum of the upper limit. Again, in between here, we are getting some changes. Okay, at what point and all we'll be getting changes. That also we can identify. Okay, just you add this 0 with this number, you'll be getting 2. Again, you add this number with this. Again, in this case, both are the same. So again, the changes will be there at exactly this point. Okay, so from 0 we are starting, again at 2 we will get some change, then we will stop at 4. Say for example, suppose if the length is not same, it is little bit different. Say for example, this goes from 0 to 1 and h of t goes from 0 to 2. Now, what again, we do not know what is the shape of y of t, but we'll first of all we'll try to understand what will be the timing values. Okay, so this will be 0 first, again 0 added with 1, 1, again 0 added with 2, 2 added with 3 is 3. Okay, that means what, we will start at 0, we'll end at 3. Again at 1 we will be getting some change, at 2 we will be getting some change. Okay, so these are all the simple ways to identify where we'll get changes. Okay, and then one more property that we have to observe here, when we do the convolution of x of t with h of t, we get y of t. X of t is a signal, h of t is also a signal. That means system characteristics is defined in terms of waveform, okay, signal waveform. So then y of t is also a signal. So it will always satisfy the area property. What is the area under the signal x of t? What is the area under the signal h of t? Then what is the area under the signal y of t? This is called area property for convolution. Okay, in general, always convolution has to satisfy the area properties. Okay, then in our example, what is the area? Because it is a finite duration signal, so that we can easily identify area without any difficulty. What is the area of this signal? 2 into 1. What is the area of this signal? 2 into 1. Okay, so area is 2 into 2. It has to be 4. That we have to verify with the diagram. Okay, so this is our y of t. Then what is the area under this? Okay, area of this triangle, that is of BH, 1 by 2 into 2 into 2, again 1 by 2 into 2 into 2. Okay, so that means 2 plus 2, that is equal to 4. Okay, so always we have to satisfy the area property. Okay, so in the next class, we'll try to solve the same problem with help of graphical method that will be useful for the semester examination, because in the semester examination, they'll simply give the questions either in the signal waveform format, graphical format, or in terms of mathematical equation, but whatever it may be, mostly you have to solve it by graphical method, most probably. Okay, thank you.